Hello everyone, it's Captain Kirby here. Before this video starts, I want to thank everyone who has been working with me. I want to thank every friend that I've made through the FNF community, through other means, through my tutorials, through everything that has happened. I would also like to give a massive shout out to the Great Aku as well as Nosk for coming on to the video today to give some words of advice in this video. I would also like to thank Litterheart for the amazing help that he has given me, Pika, Vox, so many other people. I would never be able to do what I do today without those people. I'd also like to give a massive shout out to Caramelias and ZZ Doodles for the PNG tubers that they have made for me throughout the years and that you've seen in my videos and everything. And I would also like to give Pikavox another shout out for the outro music, every single musician that's worked with me. You all mean so much to me. Hi guys, so sorry about the really awkward intro there. Today I kind of wanted to sit down and have a discussion. Modding and directing is very hard. I have first a testament to it, working on mods as a dev, as a programmer, and being under severe crunch culture, finding mods where I've made a almost family-like connection with developers and the directors and the devs and everyone, as well as just kind of existing as a director myself. And I kind of wanted to have a conversation about that today. And through that, I want to talk about some common issues that I see within the FNF community and move towards, more of an understanding of how should we approach directing a mod. So to begin, we'll talk about the two different types of directing. There is paid directing, where the director is directly paying the devs, and then there is also unpaid directing, where the director is basically working with the devs in a volunteer basis. And that's a very important distinction to make, because that's where we run into our first issue when it comes to developing and when it comes to developers struggling with keeping their team on track. Is we all have to remember that in an unpaid mod situation, it's automatically going to be a volunteer basis. There is no incentive aside from personal motivation towards completing something to actually cause a dev or force a dev to work on any given mod. That's very important, because we all want to make mods. We all want to express our vision. We all want to do all of this stuff. And I am all for it, believe you me. I want to do it myself. More later in the video. But for the most part, when we talk about directing a mod, you hear all these stories of crunch culture, of these mods that either fall apart because the devs aren't actually working on it, or the director gives up on it, or the director gets into a conflict with the devs, or something like that, where it just ends up being a really big conflict for everyone. And those are really unfortunate to hear about, because they can be really good mods. The mods that have paid work are a lot safer, because the director and the devs will most likely either contract or some kind of freelance work where they will get paid much like a commission based off what they do for the mod. I work for one of those mods. It's called Versus Q, and it is an amazing mod. We have such an amazing team, and our director Aku is actually going to speak later on in the video, as well as Aku feels like a member of the dev team, not a director, despite paying us too. Doesn't act like a big CEO as you would think of in the big corporate movies and whatnot, where he's cracking the whip down on all of us, get work done, I'm not paying you to stand around and do nothing. We have all kinds of fun in that dev server. And those are the kinds of experiences that I want more people to have, especially within this community. We often lose track of the journey on our way to our end product as a director in favor of thinking about the end product. But really, the journey is what matters. How you get there is what matters. And Nosk put this a very, very good way. And that's very important. The other thing that we have to understand is that mods take time. Mods take a lot of time, depending on how big they are. They can go from being super quick, super one-shot-y, to, a full 60-song mod for some of these mods. They're getting big. They're getting really, really big. The thing is, the bigger the mod is, much like a AAA game or something like that, the longer it's going to take. If an indie studio wants to make a AAA game, it's going to take them 5 to 10 times longer than it would take the AAA studio who has the money to make that game, because it's just so much work. There's so much that goes into it. And that's a very important distinction to make. That's a very important thing to say, because a lot of the stigma around why FNF mods don't get complete is because they take too much time, and I think that is just straight up false. I believe that in order for an FNF mod to be completed, in order for it to have very high quality and still be really good for the dev team, there needs to be one of two things. If you want it quickly, you have to pay. You're gonna have to pay no matter what. Aku says it really well in our interview, where it's just stating, when you expect a lot out of a team, you have to give back to them in a way. When you are working as a director on your mod, you can't just lay back and crack the whip on other people, especially if you're not paying them. You want to cultivate a friendship, a community, some kind of family ties within that, or even friend ties, where it's just like everyone feels like they can go to you to talk. They want to be in the server, they want to be hanging out, they want to work on the mod, but they also want to make friends and lasting connections within the mod teams. And a lot of the mods that I see are very authoritative in the way that they approach this, where it's like, no, you're in this server, you're here to work on a mod. I used to be like that. When I wanted my mod to work here, and it's gone through several iterations, I used to be like, okay guys, it's time to work. But sometimes it isn't time to work. Sometimes it's time to sit in a VC, be silly, sketch other things, talk, play some games, watch a movie. All of these things that are just going to bring that motivation higher and higher and higher and higher. And it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds until the point where that dev team actively wants to work for you on your mod. As a director, the least you can do is help out your team. And Aku says it very well. In talking about how we approach modding and how we approach working on mods as a director, I personally think that the best thing somebody can do is learn a new skill and try and get in there, get to the level of the developers, so you can understand what it's like to be working in their circumstances, especially as a director. A lot of directors don't really have the artistic, music, programming, charting, whatever skills to actually, actively contribute to their own mod, although many do, I will definitely admit that. But more likely than not, in failed mods, that director does not help. They cannot, or feel like they cannot help the team. However, I will say that as a director, you can absolutely help a team. If it means sketching out like a background or a character or something, just to contribute to things, just to get everyone's brain rolling on like what the vision is, what you're looking for here, it really builds up something. I just kind of wanted to put this out there because, and this is completely unscripted, by the way. This is kind of just me rambling right now, but I do feel like a lot of mods could be completed if directors took more of a dev position. I've worked for many people who have that kind of, I'm a director, so I'm going to sit here and do nothing now mentality. And that's really, really not good. It's very toxic for a team. It really is. I just kind of wanted to have this little rant because it does really, it's good for me to not only release some of the frustrations that I've had and everything, but there's also a really good side to directing, to FNF modding, a good side that maybe gets overlooked most of the time, where people can come together because of FNF modding. I've seen it with everything, and when it comes to modding, when it comes to content creation, when it comes to creative medium as a whole, you can raise a community, you can raise a friendship, you can basically have your own family outside of your actual family through this kind of stuff. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes. I think we forget to thank the people who brought us to where we are today. And I feel like, sometimes even I've lost that. And that's why I kind of did that a little bit at the beginning there. It's to thank people. To tell them that I care and that I acknowledge what they've done for me and I appreciate it to the greatest extent. I am not kidding when I say that what these people have done to help me in my journey as not only a content creator, an FNF modder, a director, all of this stuff, this is all completely voluntary. I have not paid anyone to do anything. If I did, a different set of expectations, because you've already given them your thanks for that thing. When it comes to voluntary work, you never stop thanking those people. And that's the best part of it all. That's the best part, is you have to be eternally grateful that anyone would want to work on your mod, would want to help you content create, would make a song for you, would draw fan art of your character, would, engage with you, be a community, all of this stuff. It all goes all the way back to how we perceive ourselves in a whole. Everything is always about the community. Without a community, you have no mod. You have no YouTube channel. You have no content creatorship. You have no fan art. You have no friends. You have no project either. All of these things you can't do without community and engagement, and thanking these people is the least you can do. Now, from here, I want to give a couple of highlights from my interviews with Nosk and Aku before I cut back in and talk specifically about what's next.
I'm Nosk, or Nosk XML for the longer name. I'm a self-taught artist in the community.
What kind of director experience have you had within the FNF community, and how would you kind of say that went?
I have my own one-shot for followers who know me, a PVZ one-shot, and to be honest, the development was completely not good. We had some people, they were interested, and I hoped that we would get it done in under a month. But no one really was passionate. I told everyone, please get it done, when can you start, and etc., etc. And I never really got an answer back. And to be honest, I didn't know myself what to do at the moment. But people left because they were not interested anymore, and I had to get new people, and it was really, really a terrible experience. I was not gonna mention any names for the sake of people's safety. My experience with other directors were really not that great. I joined a mod very early in my experience with the modding itself, and it was terrible. It wasn't very organized. People didn't know what they were doing. And I'm not gonna judge anyone, but the directors were very young. It was just, and I got kicked from the team because I just tried to do something for the mod. I was like, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? And I just did it. It's kind of my fault. But I showed them this, just as maybe it can look like this. They were not very happy about it and kind of put me like an only channel for me where I only can type there. It was a disaster.
In terms of your own directing experience and as a dev, what would you say have been the best kind of mods to be in? What was the culture like, and what was the working experience like?
I feel that kind of paid mods, I work on just maybe 1 or 2 paid mods. They are always a great experience because it's not very disorganized. The people try and they succeed in being very organized about it. And I think that's a good workspace. Free mods can be good if the person who's directing actually knows what they're doing. It's sometimes really a messy experience. So I think I would not say that paid mods are always better than free ones, or free ones are always better than paid mods. It's basically just about the director itself. That's I just also don't think it's mainly about the director itself. It can also be about the worker themselves. Are they lazy? Do they just push it aside? Are they forgetting something? I think that can also really affect the flow of the mod development. So to say it's just the director's fault would be wrong. I mean, if I know that I just only have like one job, and I mean, I'm mainly a background artist, and I think it can be overwhelming for many people because they're like, shit, I gotta do more. That wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it's gonna be smaller. It mainly is also about the communication. Has the director thought about it before, or is it just like a snap, boom, we're gonna do this? If it's a snap, boom, and it's just suddenly a decision, then I think it's not a good move. Definitely not. It affects the developers so that they just don't know if they want to do it, and that's causing people to leave or to stay and not do anything because they just don't want to do it.
What would you say, from the dev perspective and the director perspective, since you've been in both, is the most effective and the most consistent way to present that, to kind of say, hey, dev team, this is what we're going to do? What would be their plan for that would get that mod done or scale?
Take it slow. I think taking it slow is the best thing you can do. Pushing something out very quick can be very stressful for the director and the dev. But I think also taking it too slow and letting it like getting done in 3 years is a bit too slow, and people lose the passion for it. So you kind of have to find the gold middle in it. For example, if you have a team, like you said, EXE revival stuff like that, and just say, dude, I want it done in like the next 3 months. You will have people who say, I'm not really feeling it or stuff, and it will just not work. And getting a deadline not done will affect the mentality probably of the director and the devs themselves, feeling like it's their fault or something. If you're taking it too slow, I just already said, people don't really have the passion anymore. They don't feel like, well, I don't really want to work on this anymore because they have been passionate and now they are not.
Yeah, how would you say what is the best way to keep that fire of like I want to do this mod kind of burning?
I mean, what a best approach is keeping contact with your devs. Have people that are often maybe chatting in the server and talking about the mod, what I can do, etc. Having people contacted or contact with your devs is like a good feeling. You see that the people actually care about it, because if you're not interacting with them, people will not see not see will not have the passion anymore. I've seen that it happens, and I think that's one big solution for slow development.
Okay.
Just having contact with people.
Hey guys, my name is Aku, and I am directing the mods for QV2 as well as Move and Groove, which is more of a side thing, but I'm also just in general just trying to content create and overall trying to spread a good vibe to the community. So, personally, I think they've really overall have been enjoyable. I've been directing these two for 2.5 years and almost reaching a year for Move and Groove, and it's really has been a enlightening experience because I've always had a knack for trying to organize things and trying to get my vision out there. But ever since I was inspired by the original versus Garcella mod, I've always wanted to get my stuff out there and to spread that sort of vibe with also the team that I've gathered. I am eternally grateful, honestly, for all of the people that work on my team. Regardless if it's paid work or like just out of having fun. I've really struck home run, to be honest. But to actually get a good team like that, it took a lot of trial and error. Obviously, there was some bad apples that we've had to kick out, as well as, had a few, hiccups on the road. But I love my team to death, and I am so grateful that they're still sticking around to try to get an update out. I think when it comes to paying people for their work, it's really something that I feel should be, more normalized in the community as well as just any projects in general. Because, something that people have to understand is that if people are going to dedicate time and energy into something that, that your vision in trying to create it, then obviously you need to offer something back, to them as well. And for some people, like they want to get paid for their efforts and they want to you know have a little something in order to get accomplished and maybe even encourage them to make it more of a part-time job or maybe even full-time if they're into game developing. And so encouraging that, I feel definitely is beneficial for both the director and for the one being paid, because the director, they get hopefully higher quality stuff, while those who are getting paid, they can feel a little satisfied in their work. While if they're if someone wants to work for free and for fun, then that's also very valid, because a lot of this is for fun. I would say that if you are making something and if you want help for that and you can't offer any money or that, is that you need to be a human being first. Like, you have to understand that in order to have people get interested in your thing, then you have to put in, a good amount of work yourself in order to, procure a vision that will, get people interested. I actually didn't start out by paying people. I drew up some sketches as well as concepts and backgrounds, and I've showed them to, some friends. And, I started to build up, a small team of people who were interested from some various small stuff. And so that's really the first step, is to, get people interested in your concept. You can't just expect them to bring out everything, because it's your vision and you have to get people hooked onto that by really putting in the time and effort into expanding that. And then once you do that, then I would say that step two is to really, be encouraging and be talking, like in order to gather a team as well as to have the team more interested in staying to help out, then you really need to talk to them. You need to talk to them about stuff outside of that. Maybe their own projects or maybe stuff that you two are interested in, and to be a human being first and to listen to them. It gets people interested in actually wanting to help out more, because if you give a bit of yourself and your time, then people are going to want to give a bit of their time as well to help you out. So then the team doesn't just become a group of strangers just trying to make something. It becomes a group of friends who are having fun trying to make something that they're all having fun with. I would say it would be holding yourself accountable, because while obviously, yes, there are some outside elements, that you can't control, such as, perhaps a team argument, or perhaps accidentally inviting someone who, maybe has a colored history. But the hardest thing about it is to really hold yourself accountable for your actions, as well as understanding that if there's any trouble happening in the server, as a leader, you have to understand that whatever you do, it is your responsibility. So if you feel like that things are slowing down, or if you feel like things are, like not as where they could be, then it's your responsibility in order to try to, bring that back, or to try to find resolutions with your team members who maybe aren't, putting in that time or energy, or perhaps are too busy. So you have to really be careful that you're not going to, be too lax and allow them to really just not do anything and everything becomes stagnant. But you also don't want to be on the other side where you encourage time crunch and you encourage, stress and, so much unnecessarily hard feelings on your team and yourself. So definitely holding yourself accountable is, a really hard thing for a lot of directors.
So as you all might know, I released a demo for a mod called Versus Fun Size CEO. It was just kind of a little fun mod I was doing with some people that I very well, as a director, took completely out of proportion very, very quickly, very, very easily. I was very, very unskilled, not skilled in directing, not skilled in leading people. But now, as I sit here, and I talk about all of this stuff as a director myself, and this mod is still going. It's gotten some content made for it, and it's going, in my opinion, really well. I have an amazing group of devs. That being said, I do have big aspirations for it. I have massive aspirations for it, even. And that's why I want to extend out my hand to you, the community. Because as a director, I've looked at this from a number of angles. I've seen it from, do I need to get money so I can start paying my devs? Do I need to start, doing something different with my devs when I'm originally, hiring them onto the team? I've started sketching backgrounds for the mod. I started sketching character concepts for the mod. I've started helping and being more active in my role as a director, despite having very little art skills, despite having very little music skills. The only thing I know how to do in FNF modding is program, and I'm the sole programmer of my mod. But in order to have a mod, and in order to program a mod, I need people to make the sprites. I need people to make the music. I need people to do whatever other things that I don't have done, or don't have the ability to do, rather. And for that, I am eternally grateful to those people who are helping me do that, who are teaching me how to make my own art, who are teaching me how to do music, who are teaching me all of these things and making me better as not only a director, but as a person and a creative. And we can never lose sight of thanking those people. So for this mod, I decided I want to take a model that I've developed as a director. I want to approach this mod like I would something like volunteering for a community, for example. People who want to work on this mod, I am never going to force anyone to work on this mod. That is the first thing. I am never, ever, ever going to go into somebody's DMs and say, do work for me. I want to put out things out there and say, here's what can be done for this mod. Here's what I'm concepting for this mod. Who wants to clean it up and finish it up and you know, make it look professional and really good for the FNF community? And I want to work with my devs to make sure that everyone feels that way. I don't want to, I know that it's unrealistic for me to take on the whole mod myself and make it myself, which I tried to do. It didn't go very well, unsurprisingly, but it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about how devs feel when they're making a mod, and how kind of a shallow director and leader of a mod can really kill a mod's atmosphere. So with that, I would like to extend out an invitation to everyone watching this video, everyone who talks to anyone within talking about this video, whatever. I would like to extend an invitation out to you to volunteer your time, your energy, your professionalism to me and my mod, my dream mod. It is an OC mod. It is kind of a little bit of a self-insert mod. I'll be very honest. I will be straight up honest with everyone here. But I really want to make this mod. I have so much stuff that I want to do with this, and I know it's going to take a lot of time, and I know it's going to take a lot of really, really, really talented people to work with me to make it. I am willing to put in the effort I can to do what I can for this mod. I want people just to help make it that much better. I need you guys. To put it lightly, I need you guys. And what I can offer in exchange for your services in helping my self-insert OC mod, whatever you want to call it, is I can offer you companionship. I can offer you friendship. I can offer you a great dev team and a great working space. I can promise to you that I will always be fair to you and your own personal circumstances that may be taking you away from the mod. I can promise you that as a director, I will never, ever, ever make you work. If it means I have to reassign that task to somebody else, then I will do that. I will never force anyone to work. I will work with you so that we can understand what timeline would be reasonable to get something done in, because we can't have a mod that just never gets done. But I will be reasonable, and I will be as amicable, and I will work with you, and I will sit in VCs, and I will do long hours as a director. I will sit there and I will work, and we will play games, we will watch movies, we will do all of these things, and it will be a great time. It's all about the journey. I want to make this mod. Believe you me, it's been something that I've been working on for over probably a year now, I'm guessing. A year or two. But more than that, I want to make friends. I want to make a community around something that has been such a passion project for me up to this point. I want to make something that at the end of the day, I can look back on and say, wow, what a journey I had with these people. How many friends I made along the way. And look at how it turned out. Because the ultimate thing is, is when we enjoy the experience of doing something, we want to do it more. And I thank you guys for staying with me, staying in a community with me, staying, I didn't want to say humble, staying with me and enjoying this journey, supporting me in my content, supporting me in my time and effort that I put into these things, because sometimes I lose track of that. And I just want to say thank you. No matter what happens from here, no matter if you stopped watching me today, if you stopped following me today, I would say thank you for following me up to this point. Whatever future endeavors anyone pursues, I wish them the best in it. You don't have to be loyal and dedicated to me. I just want to say thank you all. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening to me rant, because apparently I can't talk. But with that, I think that's where I'll end this video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye now.